Let's face it, spending money at Walt Disney World is very easy to do. They make it that easy so that you will end up spending a lot of money, and if you do not budget yourself out in advance like I have learned to do, you may end up finding yourself with every item available in your luggage on the way home. Of course, the Disney company is not alone here. Every for-profit company has to continue making money, and preferably even more money, so that they can stay alive and continue to grow and bring the magic to us. We get it, we understand it, that's how it works. But recently, we have seen a change in strategy involving the merchandise that has me totally confused. In the past, when there's a special event happening at Walt Disney World, Disney will usually create some special merchandise to commemorate that special event for you to buy if you would like. Now, for those of you who have never been to a festival or a special event at Walt Disney World, this might seem a little bit unfamiliar, but for those of you who have been to these festivals and special events, you know the feeling just like I do where you see all of this special merchandise. It says limited time only, special edition, limited release, and you say to yourself, I've got to have it. Now, for those of you who are kind of looking down in shame, don't worry, you are not alone there. I have actually spent so much during a food and wine festival in the past, I had to cut back on the trip that I was going to go to next simply because I had spent so much money. So nowadays, I have to budget very carefully how much I am willing to spend on merchandise at Disney. Now, Disney has not stopped creating special merchandise for special events, and today I'm thinking about the Food and Wine Festival. However, there is something a little bit different that has happened in the past, but I wanted to address it here. Disney is actually holding back some of the merchandise until a later date in time. Now, if this was Disney's first ever Food and Wine Festival and they were still working out how they're going to do this and the timelines and all these things, I would understand it. Even the second, maybe even the third one, I would understand them being a little bit late, saying, you know what, this merchandise didn't make it in time, we'll get it to you later in the festival. But no, it has been going on for 23 years, and they're telling us that some of this special exclusive merchandise will not be available until later in the festival, so we know they're just holding it. Now let's dive just a little bit deeper into the festival merchandise and figure out which merchandise is being held back. Now, just to clarify, this is about pass holder exclusive merchandise only. I'm not talking about the general merchandise, pass holder exclusive. I'm going to touch back on that one in a moment, but on opening day on August 30th, they released the special Figment t-shirt, the Kinch sack, a beverage pitcher, and 2 glasses featuring Figment and Minnie Mouse. Now, from that list, I want the Figment t-shirt, the beverage pitcher, the 2 glasses, I basically want it all. But there's even more merchandise that's only being released on September 20th, so you have to wait until September 20th for these items. It's the Goofy Raglan tee, ladies tee, and 2 glasses featuring Mickey and a fun festival tagline. Now, I wish I was able to get the Goofy Raglan tee or the 2 glasses featuring Mickey and the festival tagline. However, I will not be at the festival on September 20th or any day after that because I'm just not going back to Disney that soon. So I will miss out on those items, but I'm going to get back to that in a moment. The other date is October 18th, where they will release the Remy hoodie and Remy drinkware. With less than a month to go before the festival closes on October 18th, they're releasing some brand new merchandise that's pass holder exclusive. My question, why? To me, there is only one imaginable reason why they would create this separate release date schedule for the pass holder exclusive merchandise, and that's to bring the pass holders back over and over again at least 3 times over the course of the festival. I kind of get it for that reason. However, Disney, you've already created an incentive for pass holders to return several times during the festival in terms of the cutting board. Disney has already told us that upon your 4th visit, you get a free, and I repeat, free cutting board from the Food and Wine Festival. Who doesn't want free at Disney? Now, I may be alone here, but if you're telling me that I have to visit Walt Disney World 4 times to get a free cutting board, I am far more motivated to do that and go back over and over again to get this free item rather than go back later in the festival to try and get a pass holder exclusive piece of merchandise. That's just me. I was rattling this idea around my brain for a little while now. I could not figure out why Disney would do this. I am so much more motivated for free things at Walt Disney World versus something that I could buy if I want to. So what is the reason for this? And then it dawned on me, it has more to do with the Florida residents than it does for those annual pass holders who don't live in Florida. My theory about Disney holding off this merchandise until a later point in time revolves around those pass holders who live just outside of Orlando in just a little bit more of a distance where you have to make Walt Disney World a full weekend trip. For example, if a family lives maybe 5 or 6 hours away from Walt Disney World, it's very likely that when they visit the festival, they're going to have to drive there. They'll stay overnight, maybe 1 or 2 nights, then they'll drive back home. And that does make a lot of sense. But Disney wants to try and motivate these pass holders who live maybe 5 or 6 hours away to come back to the Food and Wine Festival again and again. So they have 2 different ways of inviting them back, both with the free cutting board and the magnet that you get as a pass holder, and this special merchandise. If you consider that Disney might be focusing on those pass holders who live maybe 5 or 6 hours away and want them to return several times to the festival, this does make a lot of sense. There is a downside, however. For those pass holders like me who cannot come down to Walt Disney World multiple times, or maybe we're going earlier in the festival, we will likely miss out on this merchandise. But to me, it's okay. It is okay because I'll be able to get the cutting board and the magnet, which are free, and I'm much more motivated for free things at Disney, absolutely, rather than the option to buy a $50 sweatshirt, just as an example. So I'm happy that Disney is using this strategy, even though I'm kind of sad I'm going to miss some of that merchandise. I'll be okay with the cutting board. So we have an idea of what Disney's strategy might be with these special release dates, but I have a question. Let's imagine that my theory is right and Disney opens up this special Remy hoodie on October 18th, just as an example. I'm wondering, and I don't know the numbers, but I'm wondering, does Disney sell more of them if they wait until October 18th? And more of the rooms and they make more money that way? Or would they make more money if they just opened it up with the regular festival and had all of us who were there at earlier times of year buy those sweatshirts? I'm kind of wondering if that money makes sense. I'm sure Disney's done all the homework and they've figured it out, but if I just think about it, there must be a lot of guests who really want these items who will be there before they open up. So I don't know, it's just something to think about. So I put it to you. Imagine you were in charge of all the merchandise at Walt Disney World and at the Food and Wine Festival. Which strategy would you use? Would you delay the arrival of some of these items so that you would convince more pass holders to come to Walt Disney World and experience the Food and Wine Festival, maybe a second or third time? Or would you open it up with the opening of the festival so that you can sell more of these sweatshirts? Which one do you think would make more money for the company? Because remember, that is the goal for those who are right there in charge, trying to make more money for a company to keep it alive. Personally, I think that releasing all of the items at the opening of the festival would make the most sense so that you can sell as many of the items as possible, rather than see if a lot of guests will come back to the festival to perhaps be motivated to buy these items. That's just my theory about it. Those who are really motivated to buy it are going to want to buy it. Those who aren't. That's just my thoughts. We haven't seen the numbers, we don't know, but I think that they should release it all at the same time. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.